So today we're going to be making a delicious post-workout meal, or like a quick and easy delicious steak dish. So basically what we're making is a marinated skirt steak with an herb sauce and an arugula salad. Something so simple yet so fresh, and the whole point of this dish is to have some acidity, but herbs are going to stand out because we're using cilantro, parsley, garlic, and it's going to be so delicious. So let's start. I am, and I'm not, your average 14-year-old kid. I'm going to try to take you on a journey from one thing to another. I want to have different flavors. I want you to experience different kinds of tastes, textures, presentations, all that. First things first, we're going to start with our marinade. Now it's kind of like a chimichurri sauce, pretty much. So we're going to start off with our cilantro. And just going to cut that. And then we're also going to use some parsley. So even though it may not look like I work out a lot, but I actually do because of tennis. And this is one of the meals that I just love having after a nice hard workout in the gym or on the tennis court. Alright, so I'm going to put this inside our Pyrex container. Alright, so next we're going to put in about 2 cloves of garlic, because typically a chimichurri sauce actually does have a lot of garlic in it. Alright, now I always do this, but you got to give it a nice little smash, and then... So one of the reasons why I love playing tennis is actually because I've been playing it since I was about 4. And growing up, tennis has always been my dream to become a professional tennis player. And it actually still is, and something I'm working towards pretty much every day. And one of the things that I have to be really conscious about is what I eat. So I can't eat a lot of bad stuff. So in a way, it kind of works well. I mean, I get to cook some delicious meals and have an awesome time doing it. Alright, so I'm going to grab our garlic and just place that inside our herbs. Next, we're going to add in a good amount of lemon juice for some acidity. And then now what we're going to do is just grab our hand blender and then just give this a little blend. We're just going to drizzle in a little bit of our oil just right now, just so it kind of like blends it around a little bit, and then we'll start to drizzle in more of our oil. Alright, now we're going to add in a little bit more lemon juice. And then finally, some fresh salt and pepper. Alright, so we got our chimichurri kind of herb sauce all ready to go. And now this is where it gets the fun part. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use all of it. Also, be careful because you don't want to touch the spoon with the steak and then put it back in, because we'll be using it later. So you're just going to spoon some of your sauce right on your steak. And then now, since you're done with that, now you can use a spoon and just spread it all around. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. Look how good that looks. Alright, now we're going to flip this guy over so both sides get the marinade. And we're going to place this guy on the grill. Let's go. Alright, so I'm out here. It's a little late at night, but that's all good. And now we're going to start barbecuing up our steak. So we have our steak. It's been marinating for a little bit. And now we're just going to place it right on our nice hot barbecue. Now also keep in mind, flank steak cooks super quick because it's also very thin. You can already smell this amazing aroma of herbs and just cooking out so nicely in the steak. Oh, it's just making me so hungry. So depending on how thick your steak is, usually you probably want to cook it about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Oh yeah, look at that. And now we're just going to flip it. So it starts to get really nice marks on one side straight, but then I kind of curved it over to the left to kind of get like a little cross-hatch pattern so it can look really nice on our plate. That looks so good. Alright, I think our steak is just about done. So eventually, one way to check the steak is just by touch, and eventually you kind of get like this really nice touch for it. If it's hard, then you know it's well done. If it's bouncy, but you can still sink in a lit, you know it's medium rare. So I think our steak is just about done. And also keep in mind, it actually continues to cook even though you take it off. It continues to cook for about 30 seconds to a minute, so always keep that in mind whenever you're cooking a nice piece of steak or any kind of protein. And now we're just gonna let him rest. See, as you guys can see, it's steaming. It's actually still cooking. Just because you take it off right away doesn't mean it's stopped cooking. I would honestly love for everyone to start cooking, because a lot of the time I see people not eating right inside like their daily lives, but then again, who am I to judge? I'm just a 14-year-old kid. But like, the thing is, there's times where I come home, it's 8 o'clock at night, there's a piece of steak inside the fridge, and there's leftover rice, and there's soy sauce with green onions in the fridge. Cut up the steak, season it, just saute it, add in your rice, like a little bit of soy sauce, some green onions, and it tastes delicious. Like and then it took me 15 minutes and it's one pan. It'll not only benefit yourself, but it'll benefit your health, how you eat every day, and it'll change a lot of your habits. So next we're going to be making the dressing for our arugula salad. So for the dressing, we're going to need 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Now if you guys don't have Dijon, it's okay, you can always use regular mustard. Alright, and next you guys are also going to need a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. And then next we're just going to give this a quick little whisk. And then for the last part, all you want to do is start drizzling in your oil. You'll need about 2 tablespoons of oil. Alright, and we're done. Alright, so now that we have all of our elements together, before we start plating, we gotta slice this steak open. Let's do it. Let's see how nicely cooked this guy is. Just glides like butter. Perfect medium rare. Look at that. That is a perfect steak. Smells so good. My mouth is watering, my stomach's growling. And in case you guys didn't know, I love steak. Like, I really love steak. And this is just, it just makes me want to tear it apart and eat it right now. But we still got a plate, so let's get to it. Alright guys, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I've waited way too long. I'm gonna dig in with a little bit of that. Holy. That's pretty darn good. Like, the thing I love about this, it's so healthy, and it just makes you want to eat a lot of protein. Like, I can eat all this, and this is a huge steak. Usually I probably only eat like half of it with a little bit of salad, and it's just so good. So we have our homemade dressing. I'm not going to put too much, but just enough to cover it and to nicely dress it. And I'm using a fork, just kind of stir it around a bit, very lightly. So we're just gonna add a few leaves here, a few more. Alright, let's plate up this dish. So I'm gonna grab a spoon really quickly, stir around our sauce that we made earlier and that we actually grilled our steak with. And then we're just gonna take a brush, believe it or not, and this is how we're gonna make our plate look awesome. It's a really great tool that you can use for a lot of your dishes just to amplify your presentation, and it's super simple to do. And then we're just going to grab some of our arugula and just little pieces, and the steak just goes right on top. Oh my god, that looks so good. And then I almost forgot, just grab your paintbrush and just brush carefully There you guys have it. Fresh marinated steak in our herb sauce with a fresh arugula salad with our homemade dressing. This is so delicious, amazing post-workout meal, or even if you're in a rush and you want a delicious steak.